out there. We're not doing this. You'll never come out again. And I snuck out the back, went around, put it in my drawer. I gave it to him. I gave it back to him when I forgot. I said, here, I told you I'd give it back. I just like the smell of it. I don't know. I'm not big guy. I just like the smell of it. But, so I gave it back to like, man, that's everything. Why not? They were surprised you didn't take any time. That's a true story. And these guys were just looking out plays.
They were one of the best.
Pretty hopped up for state matter of their music is. Rushed in.
With the violin did.
Yeah, they got worse from that day on. It got worse.
I'm about to do him. He does not talk too loud. The only reason I'm telling you to talk lower well because Joy does not talk that loud. Dane doesn't talk that loud.
It's all loud?
Yeah, talk a little louder.
Okay. Talk a little louder. Okay.
I'm not just rolling over here. So.
And we're back with the flip side of life with Bill Furman. Having a great time here. Everybody's having a great time, or at least they're acting like they're having a great time. But I'll tell you what, when you put food in front of people, you can't go wrong. So we just finished talking about how I was working at Bad Habits Restaurant with Dane work, and then I left there because, like he said, I wanted to go on because I started coaching at Yorktown High School after I met your former coach, who became my father-in-law, and yeah, coincidence. And I started coaching, but every time I go to try to get a head coaching job, they'd be like, "Well, you don't have your degree. You don't have your degree." So then we moved to Richmond. Same thing. Tried to get a head coaching job. You don't have your degree. You don't have your degree. So then I moved. Family. We moved back to Morgantown, West Virginia. And in 2005, I went back to college. It was after divorce, unfortunately, but still got the kids around. I can't get rid of them. Everybody loves them. But anyway, and that's where I met the next portion of the progression of life, and that is Julius Hawkins. Do you remember how we met? Now, I'm going to tell you, and then you can go from where I let off. Now, the reason we met is because I was a mentor and tutor for the WVU football team, and they called me on it was like a Saturday or Sunday morning. It's like 9 in the morning. They're like, hey, Phil, do you know how to grill? Well, hell yeah, I thought everybody knew how to grill. So they're like, well, if you grill for us, I said, well, you keep my girl drunk and get some weed. They said, okay. So I go down to this place.
Same writer that Van Halen had.
Yeah, right there, yeah. I'm down at this place called The District where all the football players live mostly. They got 2 grills, 2 or 3 coolers of food. I look at it, it's all meat. I'm like, what are you, a carnivore? And yeah, okay, so I start grilling, and this guy comes up and they're like, we want you to meet this guy. And his nickname is Jew. So Jew, what's up, man? How you doing? All right, so do you remember when we met that day?
I do remember being at that cookout. I heard there was a cookout going on. I had a lot of friends that were on the football team because my best friend played safety for West Virginia, and he actually was driving for us to get me to attend WVU, so I was glad to be there. So I had a lot of mutual friends in that aspect. So I came over and wanted to see, what was going on with the grill. I fashioned myself as a grill master, so I came over to see which football player was burning up all the stuff on the grill. And come to find out, none of them were. And, Phil said, I'm over here on the grill, and as we started to talk, we started to listen to each other's talk, and he said, are you from DC? I was like, yeah, I'm from DC. So we started to, form a bond right there in the spot. And then from there, we ate some great food that day, had a lot of fun, drank a lot of beers. I can't remember much more of that night, but I do remember the beginning of it during the daytime. But it was a good time. So from there we stayed cool. Like I said, we had a lot of mutual friends. It because you were doing the tutoring for the as well?
I remember I was a TA for that for professor and grad assistant. I actually got you in a couple of classes.
Yes, you did.
I got him in a couple of classes. I was
It
teaching
helped me get
the basketball class.
special consideration for some classes that I needed. So that was also very appreciative as well. And I also attribute Phil to helping to spark my flame and training because you were the first one that helped me. I started coaching with you, helping you with your camp, your football camp out there in West Virginia. Kids in camp was. So after that, just seeing how you see a kid come in at the beginning and like he can barely walk, and then from the end of it now he can run and catch a football, and is very competent. You're just a kind of feeling inside that I hadn't had before. So I started to chase that feeling, and it kind of brought me into training. So I kind of get that. Feeling as well, doing personal training, where we help people reach goals that they have and then see their progress, or when they've started with them, and then how they are, currently, or when they leave and they go on their own and continue their own fitness journey. So I definitely thank you for that, for sparking that flame inside me that I had.
I remember that class you took. It was that weightlifting class at Stansbury Hall. You got in that class? Now, once again, like I said, all these guys at this table are so damn humble. I feel like such an ass because I'm not. I try to be humble because they say the greater you are, the humbler you should be. So I really try to be humble. But Julius, what people don't know, he's not just a fitness trainer. He's a private fitness trainer, and the vice president, his wife, is one of your clients. Or something like that. I know we don't supposed to talk about it out loud. I don't know who was it. He's in
it wasn't mine. It wasn't mine.
Who's one? But you were in that same area, location.
Yeah.
Okay. See what I'm saying?
I was in a very
humble gentleman.
Good area. Met a lot of influential people, important people, but they're very humble in the gym when everyone is, stripped off and screaming under a bar. Everyone's very humble. So it was a good learning experience for me. I did a lot of networking there. Met a lot of awesome people. It kind of helped me learn how to communicate with a lot of different people, different aspects. Just about nothing. So it's great.
And the good thing about this is we are alone. We're not just friends. We're alone. I never knew how great it was to be able to say that when you go back to college and finally get your degree. This young man, and we got it. And, to be able to say, hey, you're an old alum buddy, aren't you? Yeah. So because for all those years, I was made to feel like I couldn't get that job like now. I got 3 degrees now and work. I don't know any more than I knew, but it's just that point of when you're in certain circles and people will be like, you know what, you'd be a good job, get your degrees. And it just feels great to be able to say, well, I got my master's and I taught a couple of college classes. Actually, one of the classes we had with the basketball players. And that day, I remember telling Joe Mazzulla went on WVU and played, the NBA a little bit, I think, and now he's coaching in the NBA. I remember we were doing bounce passes, and he kept going, I can't do it, I kept doing it. I said, you know what, go sit down. Yeah. That night, WVU was playing somebody, and I watched him throw a full-length bounce pass to Joe Alexander, who took it as Thunderdome. And those guys, Johnny West and all of them, were in that basketball class. And George was in that class. And were you in the Frisbee class? No. You weren't in that one. But it's so funny, when you're in those classes with those athletes, well, yeah, those classes do exist. Yeah. Ultimate Frisbee, they get mad when they lose. That's the thing about it. Competitive. Yeah. I mean, they're still competitive as hell. So, yeah. And so I met Julius, and now, you know what? We're just going to get to it, and I'm going to go back around because there's too much food sitting here for us to just keep talking. So, come back around to Wes, and we reconnect 3 years ago. And Wes, who is very humble, and if you think his voice sounds familiar, the biggest thing, I love it to death. Anytime I say, do you know my friend? He's announcing, like, who's that? I say, Wes. There it is. Now, did you invent that? Did you make that up? Or somebody
Just the theory was something that was put together by the CAPS game operations group. And they put a video together, and really it was from Tom Green. saying unleash the fury in the movie Road Trip. And at the end of this segment with a bunch of different pump things from different movies, and he yells unleash fury, the crowd would start yelling, and what would happen is eventually I started doing an additional rant at the end of it, where I would also end up screaming unleash the fury. So for about a decade or more, I'm yelling unleash the fury at the top of my lungs. People screaming, yelling, going nuts. It sort of helps that you've got somebody like Alex Ovechkin on the ice. They're a little bit. I mean, I've been doing the announcing for 21 years. 18 years to get this up right here. But it's still the best ring review you ever gave me. So very happy for that. But I mean, people know me for one thing or another, but I do a whole bunch of different things. Like there's some people who don't know me from video game voices they do, but don't know I do cats. And their minds get blown and they realize it's the same guy doing it, or the films. I was in John, like I said, John Waters' film, or doing.
Please announce your film is coming up. The red carpet event on.
We're doing a thing called Bullhog Origin, where I'm playing a Catholic priest, which some people find very, very funny. I'm going to be doing a Star Trek fan film called Very Forward. They did something on makeup on recently with the full walnut head, the whole thing, and that was great. And that one is still starting. They're like 50% to their fundraisers on that one, which is a good group to be in. I mean, they've had guest stars in that thing from about, Walter Koenig was the original Chekhov, Stan Lee was a guest at one point. So I'm happy to be doing this. I just had a pilot and got turned down at FX, which was a dangerous thing. But they're not going to redo it. It was going to renew the thing, which means that I may not be in it, but that's okay. Like I say, onward and upward. Things happen for a reason. So
One door closes, another one opens.
yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. But I keep going. Keep it going. That's right.
That's right. And next here, I want to tell you this gentleman here, like I said, we were the corner boys at one time. And you know what? We're still alive, and that's the best thing because we know a lot of guys who aren't alive. But what you don't know is that as life goes on, this gentleman right here, he's an agent to the stars, and my agent. So, Ernie, tell us what you're doing there. What you're doing.
We're in trouble doing that right now.
Well, I do a little management, managing a few artists. Artists such as Tony Woods, who has a special about to come out on about another one. So Chris Thompson, he's the original comedian of BET he's out there for life. He's doing New Knowledge, who's a member of the Grammy Award winning group Nickel Planet. And let me get you agent.
My current agent.
The queen of the airways from 102.3. Check her out at 10 every day. And this is of Gina Blue, Stinky Dink, Phil Carter. I go on, I don't want to.
You got Stinky Dink?
Yeah, I don't want anybody to see this and get mad. And then we have been around for 30 years.
So you've been doing that since you left the neighborhood?
Yeah, well, I started as a radio announcer. I go to Carolina and hang out in Rocky Mount, North Carolina for a little while. So I got picked up from there and we got on tour. Similar to what Dave Matthews did,
Those things are all kind of I used to understand with Tony Woods on stage back in the day. And you got the whole Dave Matthews thing.
You know the Fat Doctor and everybody.
I've heard Fat Doctor. Yeah.
Donnell Rollins was one of my first
Donnell Rollins. I remember
Ashley Larry right now.
Yeah, Patton's doing pretty well too.
Yes. See that? That was a lot.
DC's a hotbed of me.
There's a documentary they're doing right now. That came out yet.
And just like everything else with all the comedians in DC that have good years, I'm not in it either.
That's why it was a hard DC. That's why I didn't see you in there.
Yeah.
So you see how this all comes back around. See what I'm saying? Where you look at a table and think, not a one of them have anything in common. How wrong can you get sometimes? So stop looking at people for what we are not going to say out loud that what you know is to be true, but is not true. Next person, Julia. This gentleman here went to college, bang, 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 bang. He had kitties moving. Now look at him. He is the part owner of a very successful show. Please tell us about all that.
All right. Well, when I came back from school, West Virginia here, I came back, I was working for, I was in the real estate field actually a little bit. I was working for appraisal management group in the office, doing office kind of things, and realized that just wasn't for me. I felt like, I was just like trapped until it was time to get off. So just realized that wasn't my element. So started getting more in my element, being around athletes, being around sports, things like that. So my cousin Aaron, who's a phenomenal trainer, one of the best in the area, kind of mentored me, told me I was a great trainer, told me for years and years, but I just kind of fought back against it. So I ended up doing that, loved it, did that for 6 or 7 years. Up until the pandemic kind of shut everything down. So it kind of gave me some time to kind of wander my mind and get into other things.
So we're distributors.
Exactly. So, you got to stay nimble, like you were saying before. You got to stay versatile. So that's what I try to bond myself on being that kind of person. So ended up getting into Cello distributors, distributing PPE products and medical things like that. And then from there, we have kind of sparked some interest into creating a clothing brand in the store. So one of my good friends that I went to West Virginia with, Rohan, started the store, told me to start the store. I was like, man, that's a great idea. I'm all with you with it. And then from there, we've just been putting in a lot of hard work, a lot of planning, strategizing, ups and downs, but we're almost there. We have an awesome clothes boutique in the heart of DC, 811 Florida Avenue. They call it the Black Broadway. So it's right in the middle of everything. Great location. We're getting that started. We also started a clothing brand, Snacks, Washington DC. Here. It's an urban brand for the culture. We want to do something for the culture. I grew up in DC, and as everyone can tell you, DC's changing a lot. It doesn't look a lot like DC used to look. So we want to get people somewhere where they can go and still get that old feel, where you can go, get some shoes, get a good outfit, feel the community feel within the store, and not feel like you always need to go online or go to some big box place where no one really knows your name.
Old school feel.
Old school feel. When I grew up in DC, I grew up in a lot of places like that. We used to go all the way down Georgia Avenue, go get our mixtapes, go get our clothes and everything. We didn't shop at these big places. We shop in these mom and pop shops, and that's big in DC. Local clothing brands, local things like that. So we're trying to get that feel back, have a place where everyone can bond and kind of feel that energy that we're putting out.
Check that out. Let me tell you something. You never know what someone's doing if you don't know. And if you notice, if you look around, each of these gentlemen are doing different things, but one thing you see, I don't see any bitterness. You know what I see? I see happy and healthy, and we're going to get into this food.
That's because we invited very well, Phil.
Before we go though, I want to, Dane, we reconnected, and I know you're doing little things, but you know what? You still have that same sparkle and everything. It's great, and I want you to say something a little bye-bye to everybody from you.
It's wonderful to be here. Good luck, and everybody be safe and healthy. Hope to see you again.
June, Lewis.
Thank you for having me. Always a great time when I eat and also spend some time with some good guys. So everyone stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you guys soon. I don't even know what I was getting ready to say. Hope everybody stays safe out there.
Hey, you know what? New friends, good food. Thank you guys. This has been great.
Fantastic.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
To the group, you guys. Now, there's one more person I really want to thank. I want to bring him on screen. I'm going to stand up and walk over here. Will, go get over here.
Oh my goodness. You caught me off guard.
I know you're talking room back there.
In 1994, sold in 2000.
Wow, I think I saw Tommy talking a few times. To buy that spot.
I'm going to tell you something. You and I have met.
We'll see you over here. Channel, YouTube,
Walk in the door and I'm like,
Facebook.
I think you figure it out. I went to the place I